Obesity. It's not just about diet or exercise. It's about biology, environment, stress, access to healthcare, and the lives we lead every day. It's a complex health condition affecting over 1 billion people worldwide.
But what is obesity? Obesity is a chronic condition characterized by excessive body fat accumulation. It's not the same as being overweight. Someone who is overweight will only have a body mass index, or BMI, of 25 to 30. In order for one to be considered obese, they have to have a BMI of over 30.
Some history on obesity. In the early 20th century, obesity was relatively rare and often associated with wealth and abundance, as most Americans faced food scarcity and manual labor. However, post-World War II economic growth, industrialization, and urbanization led to lifestyle shifts, including increased consumption of processed and high-calorie foods, along with more sedentary habits. By the late 20th century, obesity rates began to rise dramatically, driven by factors such as the proliferation of fast food, large portion sizes, and decreased physical activity. Today, obesity is recognized as a major public health concern in the U.S.
There are a great number of factors that contribute to obesity. The three main factors being the new food industry, lifestyle changes, and the body positivity movements. So let's break it down piece by piece. Starting with the new food industry. Due to industrialization, the food industry is now able to mass produce snacks in much higher portions, which will end up being with much more accessible and way cheaper to the customer. Unfortunately, those products are also highly processed and unhealthy for us. So basically a perfect recipe for disaster. Moving on to our lifestyle. With the new technology developments, we don't need to move nearly as much in our day-to-day lives as we did a couple decades ago. This results in a much more sedentary lifestyle, which means we now don't burn as many calories as we used to and end up gaining weight a lot easier. And last but not least, the body positivity movements. Don't get me wrong, in no way, shape, or form am I saying body positivity is bad. But there has been multiple studies showing that when taken to an extreme, they can normalize or even encourage an unhealthy lifestyle and discourage people from addressing health issues.
1992 Calvin Klein ad. On the right, one from this year. There it is. To be fair, perhaps there is a healthy middle ground here, but facts are facts.
And although obesity is mainly a result of unhealthy eating and exercise habits, there are pre-existing factors that can make one more susceptible to becoming obese. Medical conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome, as well as having family history of obesity, will increase the chances that an individual becomes obese. Studies also show that adults aged 40 to 59 and people with lower income or education levels are also more likely to become obese. And it's needless to say that obesity will harm your health. So I'll quickly go through some of the many issues that it can cause to you. Let's start with the cardiovascular issues. Due to the great amount of fat in the bloodstream, obesity can cause many heart diseases like high blood pressure, unhealthy cholesterol levels, atherosclerosis, which are plaques that build up in the arteries and increase the chance of you having a stroke. Obesity can also cause metabolic disorders, the most common one being type 2 diabetes, which impairs the body's ability to properly produce insulin, causing a massive increase in blood sugar levels. Next, there are the digestive issues, like fatty liver disease, gallstone, or gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD for short. Respiratory problems like asthma and sleep apnea, musculoskeletal issues, multiple types of cancers like uterus, cervix, endometrium, ovary, breast, colon, esophagus, prostate, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidney, etc. There are mental health problems, reduced fertility, and even decrease your life expectancy. And that's just to name a few of the many issues obesity can cause in your life.
On the other hand, some people may encourage it or find it attractive, which is not a good thing, and others might not be even aware of their problem. However, there is still people who even will acknowledge their problem and try to fix it. As we can see in a video,
I'm not wanting to leave my mom alone because I know it'd be hard on her. And I don't want to end up like my sister and my father. I don't really think that she could make it to another one. So I have to do it. I have to change.
So now that we talked about caloric deficits and how it causes weight loss, what if there was a way to increase the amount of calories you can eat and still be on a caloric deficit? That there is. And that is what our second solution is. Think about it. We all have that one friend who eats like an absolute pig, yet still somehow maintains a lean physique. How on earth do they do that? Here's how. Your body burns calories in 3 different ways. First and most important is your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. Those are the calories that you burn just to keep your body working. So this is your heart pumping blood to your body, your lungs taking in oxygen, and even digesting the food you eat. Yeah, you burn calories when you eat food. It's crazy, right? Anyway, this is about 80% of the total calories you burn every day. Next is the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT for short. Those are all the calories that you burn by doing random things like fidgeting, typing throughout your day, or like just random movements that you do throughout your day that most times you don't even realize that you're doing. That corresponds to about 15% of the calories you burn every day. And last, we have your physical activity like walking, running, or playing a sport, which is only about 5% of the grand total, but for some reason is what people focus on the most. But before you focus on the little 5% extra calories that cardio can burn, what if you focus on those 80%? What if you can increase the amount of calories that you can burn on your sleep? Wouldn't that make the process a lot easier? And how do you do that? You do it by building muscle. Yes, the best way to lose fat is to gain muscle. That is because muscle is metabolically more active than fat. That means that your body needs to burn calories in order to keep the muscle that you build, unlike fat, who just stays there. So basically, if we have 2 people who weigh the exact same, but person A has more muscle than person B, person A is going to burn a lot more calories than person B. So person A can end up eating more calories, eating more food, and still be on a caloric deficit.